Okay, so our first question was, as used in paragraph 4, sheer means A, steep, B, transparent, C, utter, D, false. If you go and look at paragraph 4, the sentence is, considering the sheer pervasiveness of unethical behavior demonstrated by crime statistics, the cheater's high that people experience when engaging in forbidden activities may be a more potent motivator than most people realize. So, essentially, sheer is definitely not being used to describe something steep or transparent, and there's nothing really false about the information that's given, so the only answer left is C, utter. Boom. Okay, second question. What is the tone in the second article? A, mocking, B, objective, C, scientific, D, reflective. Well, if you look at our second article, how small fibs lead to big lies, you can see an abundance of scientific jargon used throughout the entire article. So, and although there's nothing mocking about the article, it's not really reflective, and you could make an argument for objective, but because of the use of all of the scientific jargon, it makes most sense for it to be scientific. So then the next question is about support for the previous question, and our answer was, where is that? Give me a sec. Oh, I'm gonna put it up there. Was D out of our answers, which was the line. Yeah, that's it. Okay. This experimental result is consistent with anecdotal observations of small digressions gradually snowballing into larger ones, which, as I said in the last question, there is scientific jargon, but the most useful words to find here are words such as experimental, observations, and it's describing essentially the scientific process of experimenting and observing and making conclusions based upon the experiments and observations. So that's why we chose D for that. For the, oh shoot, where is this? I think that's the first one. Why did we use mine? It's not I have no idea where this is.
We're at 3. We can skip that one and go back.
Okay. So we'll move on to 5. Oh, we're back to the second one. Okay, so what is the author's main idea in the second article? A, once someone lies, they are less likely to lie again out of guilt. Well, no, because if you look at the article, it actually says guilt plays a big factor into lying, especially at first. So it can't be that. B, lying is a sin and corrupts people. Well, that brings a lot of religion into this, and this is clearly a scientific article that doesn't really pertain to that. So, not B. C, the more someone lies, the more they are desensitized to it. Snowball effect. And then D, people are more willing to lie when it benefits someone else. Although it does mention people will lie for the benefit of the loved ones, the main part of the article is that when someone lies, they are more desensitized to it. That's what the conclusion that the article makes according to the experiments and observations that scientists have made before. So the answer has to be C. And so the next question is about support for that answer, and that is our D answer, which says, and the magnitude of self-serving lies grew with repetition. A participant who deceived his partner for a couple pennies many times was more likely to go on to deceive his partner out of more money in later examples. This phrase gives an example of it happening and shows how small lies can lead to bigger ones.